as you may think. Fast, agile, and misunderstood. See them wild, up close. Their friends and relations. Their fight for survival. Plus, meet the people who track wolves. Native Americans who dream about wolves. And even a couple who live with a wolf. On Audubon's Animal Adventures, it's time to howl. For millions of years, they have lived in the shadows. Secretive predators. Fierce and unpredictable. Meet Canis lupus, the wolf, the largest member of the dog family. Fast, strong, smart, and very mysterious. For wolves can be as tough on their prey as they are gentle with their pups. Wolves have fired our imaginations for centuries, inspiring art, mythology, and in some cases, misconceptions. In ancient Egypt, wolf-like animals were seen as guides to the afterlife. Native Americans considered wolves spiritual medicine and believed their howls sent messages to the world beyond. In recent years, our image of the wolf has changed. And so has its place in the world. These days, the wolf is in trouble. Once, wolves roamed more of the world than any other land mammal, but today, they're fast becoming extinct in an ever-shrinking wilderness. Even in the United States, wolves used to roam from coast to coast. Today, they survive in just a few states, most notably Alaska and Minnesota. According to the U.S. government, in the American West, wolves are officially endangered. To understand why many wolf populations are on the road to extinction, and why they're in danger of dying out completely, we must first separate the wolf of legend from the wolf of reality. We must enter their world. In Ely, Minnesota, at the International Wolf Center, Janice Templeton has devoted her life to teaching people about wolves.
I've been fascinated by wolves since I was a kid, and I would never imagined when I was a kid that I could actually be as close to wolves as I am now. It's very easy to teach if it's something that you feel very strongly about and you care very deeply about.
While we've all seen images of the lone wolf, wolves are actually very social animals. They live in family groups or packs of up to 15 individuals. But pack life isn't all fun and games. Wolves rely on a strict social order to survive the dangers of the wild. And they rely on their leaders, the alpha wolves. The young and the weak are reluctant to challenge the alpha wolves, and they often humble themselves to prove their loyalty. They know who's boss.
If the tail is down, lowered, and even tucked a little bit, that means the animal is showing submission. If the tail is straight up, that animal is a dominant animal.
Janice's wolves live in a 1.5-acre enclosure at the Wolf Center. Just like wild wolves, they can live for 13 or 14 years, although the average age is 9 or 10. And also like wild wolves, they shed their fur in the summer. Right now they're wearing their shorter summer coats. But unlike their wild relatives, these wolves don't have to hunt for their supper.
Are you curious about what the wolves here at the center eat?
Yeah.
What do you think they might eat?
Dog food?
Janice's wolves eat a steady diet of protein-rich food, like deer meat. In the wild, the alpha wolf usually gets to eat first, but among captive wolves, there's less competition, so this clever guy can sneak off with the meal. Finding food isn't so easy in the wild. A hungry wolf pack works hard for its meal, especially since wolves prefer to eat big hoofed animals like deer, moose, and buffalo. Wolves use their keen hearing and sense of smell to track their prey.
There have been reports in which there was a researcher flying above an area watching a wolf. There was a moose over a mile away. The wolf, of course, could not see the moose, but it held its nose up, the researcher watching this, and then immediately started going straight toward that moose. So an incredible sense of smell.
And wolves are born to run, reaching speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. But how does a wolf that weighs about 100 pounds bring down a buffalo which can weigh 2,000 pounds? Their secret is cooperation, working together as a group to stalk, then attack their prey. But they've got to be careful. Fortunately, wolves seldom square off against people.
There isn't a recorded case of a wolf killing a human since Europeans first came to this country.
Wolves may not prey on people, but they're certainly part of our lives in other ways. Hey, that's no wolf, or is it? Actually, all dogs descended from wolves. They're both members of the Canidae family, and they have a lot in common. Look familiar? That's right. Like a wolf, when your dog licks your face, he's showing you loyalty and acknowledging you as his leader, the alpha of his life. This similarity is no accident. More than 10,000 years ago, man lived closer to nature and often came in contact with wild wolves. Probably impressed by their loyalty and hunting skills, man began domesticating wolves, training them to herd sheep and to help with the hunt. Generations of breeding wolves to live with people gradually produced a new animal, the dog. As lovable as your dog may be, it still retains certain wolf-like behaviors. When a wolf pack eats, for example, there's only so much meat to go around, and everybody has to eat fast to get fed. Your dog may wolf down his food, too. When it comes to growling and howling, well, not just wolves and dogs enjoy a good howl. Wolves and dogs communicate by howling to define their territory, and in the case of wolves, to communicate their location to other pack members. As for howling at the moon, biologists say that's just a myth, although wolves, like dogs, sometimes howl just for the fun of it. Dogs and wolves do share many traits, but they also part company in many important ways. Man's best friend is cute, fun, and loyal. A wolf is a different story. Although wolves aren't really evil as these images once suggested, Their conflicts with people go back thousands of years to when the two faced off over farm animals like sheep and cows. Wolves sometimes eat livestock, especially when their natural prey is scarce. A wolf's hearty appetite is legend. Popular fiction grew out of these tales. During the Middle Ages, they were thought to be the devil. Stories emerged like Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf that made a meal out of grandma. Everyone loved to hate the wolf. He was our classic bad guy. Fables of werewolves and wolfmen caused many a nightmare.